Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to episode 130 of the DrewCast. I'm your host, Mello15. I am beyond excited today, okay? I haven't been this excited to pod in a while, right? I'm excited every week. I think I'm kind of annoying about that. I say, I'm excited. This is the best episode ever. But no, so leading up into this week, I had a whole list of show notes I was going to do. And then something came out last night. Something came to my attention, all right? And when that came to my attention, I said, hey, we got to talk about it. So before I start, I want to welcome you guys. If you guys are listening on Spotify or Apple Podcast, I'm going to be using some references, some pictures for some of the topics. So come on over to the YouTube channel if you're interested in seeing what I'm talking about. I heard yesterday that the Mexican Congress had like a second hearing about those bodies that they found in Peru. When more stuff comes out about that, I will be covering it. It's starting to seem, guys, like it's not a hoax. All right? There's something. They may not be extraterrestrial. They might be from here, but just something that our science has never really discovered before. So when more news drops about that, I will definitely be covering that, because when I covered it the first time, a lot of skeptics, man. People thought it was a paper mache alien. People thought it was fake. People didn't really believe what they were seeing. And even me, I was kind of like, I don't think these are real alien bodies, right? But the more information that comes out, it's starting to seem like it might be something worth looking into, okay? And before I start, because tonight we're going to go down a rabbit hole. This is what I'm excited about. We're going to go down a rabbit hole tonight. But before I start, earlier I was browsing online, and I still call it Twitter, by the way. I'm not calling it X. But I come across a picture, okay? And it's about The Simpsons. So this is probably the only topic that I'm going to talk on tonight that has nothing to do with anything else. I just wanted to briefly touch on it. And by touch on it, I'm going to choke it. Because I saw a picture, and I'll put it up here. The Simpsons stopped showing Homer choking Bart because times have changed. Hey, Simpsons, what you doing? Hey, Homer Simpson, what you doing? Just cancel the show, all right? Just cancel the show, okay? If Bart cannot get choked by his own father, cancel the show, all right? Because with The Simpsons, we already had to deal with, Hank Azaria. I'm not voicing Apu anymore because I don't want to be a white guy voicing an Indian animated character, right? Which is already ridiculous enough. If you really think about that, that is so ridiculous. And I actually covered that quite a bit during the pandemic when all that stuff started coming out, and especially with other people saying hey, I don't want to be a white woman voicing a person of color animated character. It's an animated character, okay? Nothing is wrong about a white person voicing an animated character. Okay, that was strike one for me. That was strike one. Okay, strike two came when the show did this, right? Now Homer isn't going to be shown choking Bart anymore, right? And now it's really small in the grand, scheme of life, right? It's very small. But what I don't appreciate is we are having to sit back and basically watch the legacy of these TV shows be ruined because times have changed. It's an animated show, okay? What you doing? It's an animated show, right? Now just cancel the show. Please, for the love of God, cancel the show, right? If we're not going to get what we loved out of The Simpsons, do we have to watch it die? Is that what we're being forced to do now? It's basically we're being forced to watch our parents just disintegrate right in front of us. And for me, just cancel the whole show. All right, that's strike two. I don't want to see strike three, okay? Because you could easily go on from here. Well, all the characters are yellow, but, Asian people are referred to as yellow in like a slur type of way. So Simpsons can't be yellow now. So got to change their animated skin color. Right? You could easily start doing that with the show. With any show, really. Family Guy, American Dad, you could start picking it apart. Hey, Give it at that now, because times have changed. And I don't want to see that from The Simpsons, all right? Just cancel the show, all right? I don't know if you guys agree, but I'm not, bro, like, Bart getting choked by his dad was a staple of The Simpsons, bro, all right? So if times have changed, cancel the show. But off that, I'm going to get into the bulk of tonight's conversations because we got a lot to talk about, all right? The first one is from the James Webb Telescope. I go from Homer Simpson choking his son to the James Webb Telescope. That's what we do here. That's why you guys love me, all right? But that's why you guys love me. But the James Webb Telescope. Now, I'm going to put up a picture here it's from a tweet. It's from Amazing Astronomy, right? And they posted a picture from the James Webb Telescope. Now, I don't know, and if you read the comments, everybody on every James Webb Telescope picture, it's fake, it's computer animated, space isn't real. And I get it, right? I get there's a crowd of people who literally don't believe anything they see ever. And, you have some ground to stand on because we get lied to so much throughout our whole history of being human that you got to question everything. So I don't ever fully blame those people, but I'm excited. So let's talk about it. You are looking at an image from when the universe was still a baby, when it was only 2 billion years old, 12 billion years ago. James Webb Telescope has managed to capture the first galaxies in the universe. Now, when you look at the picture, it's mind-blowing, dude. It's one of those things that you look at and you're like, damn, bro. Like, we got to a point in our history where we put a $20 billion telescope out in space and we're able to see that. Now, the image is basically, so the light from this galaxy has reached this far, and that's, how we're able to see it. Is it a form of time travel? Are we looking into the past? I guess technically, right? But the creepy part about that picture is that galaxy might not even exist right now, right? We're seeing it as it was all those billions of years ago. But right now, as you're watching this or listening, that galaxy might not exist anymore. And it's creepy. It's creepy to actually, like, when you break it down, anybody that ever existed in that galaxy or any species or animal, they're probably long gone. So the light we're seeing is from billions of years ago, but at this very moment, it probably doesn't exist. And that is something that not only does it blow my mind, it's kind of like an existential, it's like a thought. It's like a thought storm, right? Like a brainstorming, like, just to think that anybody from that galaxy doesn't exist at this moment, dude. That is so insane to think about if you really break it down. And this kind of stuff has always amazed me. Like I said in the comments, there's going to be people who always don't believe it. They're going to say it's computer animated, space isn't real, it's a psyop. They have some ground, but not my ground, okay? Not on my podcast. But, so the bulk of tonight's story. Now, what I'm going to get into, this is kind of like when I broke down the whole 4chan story about that whistleblower who came forward and, he said a bunch of crazy stuff about the Bermuda Triangle, about UFOs and UAPs under the water. And like I said with that video, what we're going to read about tonight, take it with a grain of salt, okay? It's not meant to disrespect anybody's religion. It's not meant to disrespect anybody's belief systems. What it's meant to do is kind of open and broaden our understanding of what we are, the universe, our planet, our meaning here. And it's meant to open up a dialogue, because I like doing that here, right? I like talking about things that just like interest me, but also kind of broaden our understanding of everything, right? And like I said, take it with a grain of salt, because this whole thing could just be either a fake, it could be a psyop. But would a rabbit hole be a good rabbit hole if we didn't go down it sometimes? So it's going to be from Reddit though, okay? Now the guy who posted it, I went to Reddit to try to read the post and, kind of just browse through the comments. It got deleted, right? And on the actual, under it, it looks like one of the mods had said it was a hoax, but they didn't really give a reason as to why it's a hoax. And it seems like the guy was forced to delete it, right? Now, that's weird. Like, why don't you just keep it up? Even if it's fake, it's still interesting. It's still interesting to talk about with your friends and kind of open up a dialogue, right? So the post comes from a user called Gloves Content. And he claims that he met Tom DeLonge. If you guys don't know, Tom DeLonge is the lead singer of Blink-182. He met him at like a boxing event, right? Him and Tom talked. He said Tom's a great guy, but Tom told him some things. And Tom said that if he himself didn't reveal this in an upcoming podcast or like an upcoming radio show, that he gave the guy permission to go public with this. And from all accounts that I'm reading, I mean, it seems legit. You look at the guy's past history on Reddit. I mean, he mainly talks about boxing. He's usually commenting under boxing stuff. So, he spent years on Reddit doing that. So, I mean, it'd be kind of hard to like say that this was just like a fake account that popped up out of nowhere, because he's been on Reddit and he's not really an alien person who benefits off this topic. But I'm going to read you his post and we're going to talk about it. So, according to Glove's content, he said, Tom DeLonge, you broke our deal. A deal is a deal. It's past Halloween, and I'm disclosing. While in Mexico, I ran into Tom. Great guy. Have met him before. Tom, you know exactly who this is. And to prove it, that 12-year-old stole my lighter. So I'm assuming that's how Tom's going to remember this guy. You agreed that if you didn't tell what you told me, I could publicly say it. I haven't forgot. Don't get me wrong, I think Tom is a great person, but a deal is a deal. I gave him the benefit of the doubt for his last interview, but he didn't say it. You cannot believe me, and that's cool. He said, aliens don't come from other planets. He said it was a hole in time. Time is not really a thing, and these aliens, and he says, I'm calling it that because that seems to be what everyone here calls it, ET, spirits, whatever you prefer, understand the mechanism. The bad news is that these things are incredibly old in like millions of years since. And apparently to them, we are like an experiment. They have manipulated us and are responsible for the religions, posing as the God of Israelites or speaking to Muhammad to sow division, divide humanity and put us at war with each other, to keep us away from being united by whatever means necessary. The upside to this all is humanity discovering they've been dividing us all and coming into our own learning, this new ability and how we can learn to use it for good and for our future. Apparently, our minds form reality, but until more or less everyone sees it that way, we are powerless and only alter reality minimally, person to person. So yeah, I said what I said. I don't know if Tom is right, but that is what he believes, and he is hesitant apparently because military and intelligence need him to behave with disclosure if they are to keep feeding him information, and that's why suddenly he's all about government and military doing the right thing by protecting the public, that our whole history is a lie and has been orchestrated since the beginning. Now, like I said, take that whole post with a grain of salt, but it's a good conversation piece, right? It's something that we should talk about. Some of the takeaways from this post, though, and I'm going to touch on a lot of them here. One of the ones I want to talk about is basically the fact that whatever this is gets angered with us knowing and resets everything. There seems to be proof of that, right? With the pyramids in Egypt, maybe Atlantis, maybe past civilizations. We literally have no idea how many past civilizations there have been, truly, because if there is a great reset or there is something that wipes us out, a lot of that evidence probably gets destroyed, right? And we're left with like some things, right? Like, cave paintings or like the pyramids, or we're left with like little remnants of the past, but we're not fully aware of how many civilizations came before us. Like, I don't think we truly know that answer. So does humanity get reset once the public knows this stuff? And are we a failed experiment? Now, if we are an experiment, that probably is one of the scariest parts about disclosure, because how would people take that? Like, how do you think? Like, think about this for a second, okay? Especially if you come from I come from like Hispanic heritage. Imagine telling like older family members who are really religious or just really close-minded, this type of stuff, right? It's not going to go over well. And a lot of the world is ran by religion and those type of beliefs. And like I said in the beginning, this is in no way meant to disrespect people who are religious or to disrespect their beliefs. But it's something we got to start asking, right? Like, if these things did create religion to divide us because they know together we can form and shape reality with our minds, look around you. Everything is divided. From religion divides us, politics divides us, the cops, work, light, like everything is meant to just kind of divide everybody, and it's working. And I mean, and if we are an experiment, it's working. And it kind of made me think of something last night. And I was talking to somebody, that I live with here. I was, when we were talking about this subject, it kind of made me feel sad because it's like, we're never going to be united. It's kind of a false hope. And I want it to be true so bad that maybe one day all of us can kind of realize that we're being manipulated. And maybe one day all of us could be like, hey, let's come together. Let's screw what we've been lied to about, screw all that. Let's build a better earth. And I don't think that'll ever happen. And it's kind of sad because I feel like that's one of my main goals of being on this earth, is to try to like be a part of something like that. And when you really think about it, we are so divided as a people. There might not be a way of beating this. I mean, we're probably already too deep into that experiment, right? So if disclosure brings about the Great Reset or brings about us getting wiped out, we can't even stop it, right? Like, I don't think we could. But from this post, the only way we could is by uniting, right? We can all unite and shape our own reality. And I don't see a way of that happening. I think everybody's too divided right now, especially within the last, like, I would say decade, but definitely from like 2017 on. If you think about the pandemic, that divided us. Israel, Palestine, wars that America's been involved in, religion, politics, your every day-to-day life within your families, everything. Every subset of life just creates more division. And it's probably designed that way, right? Because if we were to figure out that all of us can create our own reality and go from there, and that's something that whatever design this doesn't want or is manipulating us doesn't want, maybe that's when the reset happens, man. What if we get close to becoming united and whatever is manipulating us says, hey, reset? It's kind of a scary thought, right? And if we are an experiment, I kind of was coming down to the conclusion that like maybe the experiment is to see which group that like maybe every civilization that becomes something. And if each experiment has failed, maybe the actual experiment is to see which one of us can actually come together and shape reality. Well, this experiment isn't doing that good, right? If this specific group is an experiment, like, all of us right now, that we're not doing good, not looking too good on that one. So they wipe us out, try again, wipe us out, try again. And maybe every single time maybe some have come close. Maybe some civilizations and some incarnations of us have come close, but it just doesn't work, wipe us out, right? And they would want it to naturally happen. Like intervening with free will seems like something that they don't do too often if they do that. Now, if we can shape reality together, is that why this world is constantly divided in every way possible? Now, I've kind of mentioned this a couple minutes ago. Look around you. Everything is divided, right? And what if we all realize that together we could shape reality? What if together, because like from person to person, yes, you can manifest and kind of like shape your own reality, but you can only do so much with one person, right? Now imagine if you got a whole group of people to come together and be like, hey, let's take care of this problem. If that's the only way to defeat what's happening, we're not going to be able to do it. Look around you. Every year there's something new that divides you, and it basically harvests your energy, your negative energy. The news is just meant to divide you. Politics, religion, your day-to-day life, the pandemic, Israel, Palestine, war, everything is just constantly, it's like a full moving circle of division. So could you possibly see a world where all of us just say, hey, wait, we're being manipulated? No, let's come together. And I don't see that happening. It sucks, but that's kind of the gloomy part of this topic. Is like, do you see a good ending? I don't. And I said that a couple podcasts ago. I don't really see a good ending to this. I want there to be a good ending, but we're not heading towards something good. Now, if figuring out the truth upsets the non-human intelligence or the great designer and Earth does get restarted, maybe it's good that we don't know, right? And now that's kind of funny coming from someone like me because I spend a lot of my time here searching for the truth, searching for answers, having like these type of debates, open dialogue. People like me, maybe it's good that not everybody's like that, right? Because maybe ignorance is bliss. I know I've said that in the past and I got a lot of pushback for that. Like, no, ignorance is not bliss. We need to know the truth. And this could be a psyop, right? What if this information was put out there because, hey, we want them to continue being scared. If they think that disclosure is the answer, let's just put this out there, right? Let's just put out there that if we do disclose this to you guys, we could be reset. Aliens that, or, whoever designed us or is manipulating us could reset us. And that could just scare a whole group of people into not wanting to find the truth. The government's going to keep the technology to themselves and they continue to screw us all over, right? It's kind of sucky because, like, yes, right, on one hand, we do deserve to know the truth behind what's happening. We do deserve to know if there's other life out there, if there's free energy being hidden from us, if there's technologies that could help this planet, and like build a better future. We do deserve to know that, right? But if it is true and disclosure does bring about like the Great Reset, is it worth it? Right? Like, maybe we should just try to live the best life we can and have fun while we're here. And I know it sounds really gloomy, but the other side of that coin sounds really gloomy, right? Finding out the truth causes a great reset. Now you could go back to the religion aspect and the Great Flood, right? Almost every major religion talks about a great flood. There's evidence that at one point the Sphinx in Egypt and the pyramids were underwater. Mount Everest has evidence at the very top that at one point it was underwater. So the Great Flood doesn't seem like a myth. It doesn't seem like a religious trope. It kind of seems like it has happened. Was that the result of past civilizations digging too deep? We won't know, but it's starting to seem like that, right? So before I end the episode, the religion aspect, that's kind of what scares me, right? Because if you think about it, if I had the right technology, I could go to a primitive planet, show up, and say I'm God. Come back 1,000 years later, and they're starting wars over me. They're controlling their people over me. They're using my name to kill people, using my name to murder countless millions of people, all in the name of what I showed up 1,000 years prior and told them, right? If you really open your eyes to that, any of us could do that. So the fact that if I had the right technology, I could go to a primitive planet and do that, what makes you think that hasn't already happened here, right? Does that discount God though? It doesn't. Like I said in the beginning, this is not meant to disrespect your religion or your beliefs. That doesn't mean God's not real. They're very well, and I do believe in the grand designer, right? A God. That it doesn't mean he's not real or whatever God is isn't real. It just means that his creations can go to other planets and manipulate life forms there. Because if you could, like I said, if you had the right technology, you could go there, literally make your own religion, manipulate that planet for whatever resource or whatever you're trying to do there. Who's to say that hasn't happened here? Like I said, that doesn't discount God being real. And the sad part is religions, they do preach very good messages, right? Not all the religions have 100% a good message. But I do believe that religion does preach, a lot of good messages, about your spiritual health, your mental health, just overall being a good person. But we can't lie to each other. Religion does cause a lot of division on this planet. If you don't think so, I mean, it's naive, right? Religion has caused a lot of division on this planet and has caused a lot of death, has caused a lot of problems. And it's weird because for something that's supposed to be teaching a lot of good messages, it is kind of strange that it does cause a lot of division. So in this post, if these non-human intelligence or these aliens or whatever the hell these are created religion to continue to divide us because if we were united, we could shape our own reality, that's scary, man. It's scary how easy it is. Like I said, I could go to a primitive planet, show up, tell them I'm God, or create religions on their planet, divide them, conquer them, use them for their resources, and basically use them as an experiment. If I could do that, And I'm not trying to make it sound easy, but if you had the right technology and you could do that, think of what a civilization that's had billions of years on us can do, or a civilization that's been around for millions of years. Think about what they could do, right? So it's not too far-fetched to say, hey, I do believe in a god or a grand designer, but we kind of do that on Earth too, right? Like, whatever designed this planet, design the animals that lived here, right? Or the animals that live here currently. And us humans aren't nice to them. We're not good to them. We go and we cut down their forests, we cut down their homes, we kill them, we slaughter them, we eat them, and we manipulate their surroundings, their environment. That's just on a small global scale, right? Imagine on like a galactic scale what could be happening to planets because a civilization just says, hey, we're more intelligent than you, and we don't view you as an actual life form, we view you as an experiment. So it's one of those things, guys. It's scary, right? So like I said, take it with a grain of salt. This post was meant to open a dialogue, open a discussion for everybody in the comment section. And just when you go home with your families and stuff, start talking about this stuff, man. Like, get people open to the idea of maybe the truth. I don't think the truth is all scary, because there's always like a yin and yang in life, right? There's like good animals, bad animals. There's good humans, bad humans. There's good plants, there's bad plants. There's always like good and bad everywhere you look. It's like literally written in the code of life. So if there is bad aliens, there's also good ones. If there's bad spirits like demons, there's also good ones, right? And I don't really think that everything involved with disclosure is bad, but maybe right now at this current time in history, whatever is controlling this planet or manipulating this planet, I don't think it's good. I've been said that. I think whatever is in control of this planet has no good intentions. Right? The people who are gatekeeping this secret, they don't have any good intentions. And you got to keep that in mind. Right? If there was good intentions involved with our government or our world leaders or the non-human intelligence or aliens or whatever you're trying to call them, I don't think things would be happening like this. But if you look around, the proof is kind of out there. I don't think people are willing to actually look at it. Right? It's like the truth is so shoved in your face that it's uncomfortable. It's not something people are wanting to talk about. But that is tonight's episode, guys. Thank you for joining me for episode 130 of the DrewCast. Like I said, I will continue to cover the bodies from Peru that the Mexican Congress have been discussing and showing, like the videos and all the x-rays and stuff. I will continue to cover that once more information comes out. And yeah, go, guys, to Spotify, Apple Podcasts if you're interested in joining us for the audio versions of this. I will always be on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook Reels, YouTube Shorts, kicking like a villain. All right? Like always, guys, I will see you next week. Peace.